Welcome back. The French Chamber of Commerce in Hong Kong recently celebrated French National Day. Reporter Tesa Arcilla looks at France's current economic presence in the SAR and some sectors they're starting to venture into.
At the mention of France, images of the Eiffel Tower, Champs-Élysées and the Louvre come to mind. It's also closely associated to fine wines and champagnes, Michelin star chefs, and top-of-the-line fashion. There are about 600 French companies or companies with French origin in Hong Kong, including subsidiaries of big groups, SMEs, and businesses set up by French entrepreneurs. 170 use Hong Kong as their regional headquarters, and they collectively employ about 35,000 people. Hong Kong is home to the largest French community in any Asian capital, with an estimated 8,000 French nationals currently residing here.
The French have had a very, very long history with Hong Kong as well, dating back to 1844.
It was in 1844 that France signed the Treaty of Whampoa, giving it the same trade privileges with China that Britain enjoyed. France also set up shop in Hong Kong, at the time a British colony. Some of the first companies to open for business here were banks.
In the beginning of the 20th century, the largest banks in the world were the French banks, and this is a period where they started to come to Asia. Our bank has been in China for more than a century.
Gallion, BNP Paribas, and Société Générale are some of the French heavyweights in the banking industry. BNP Paribas alone manages $15 billion in assets for its clients in Greater China.
When you compare the French banks with the other large international banks, what you will find is that usually they are market leaders in structured products and derivatives products. Anything that is a little bit complicated, you see that in the equity derivatives world, you see that in the fixed income, in the credit derivatives world. So there must be something about structuring mathematical skills that is distinctively French. Educational system in France, which puts a lot of emphasis on mathematics, as opposed to what you find in the British or the American systems.
Beside says that as an international financial center, Hong Kong is a natural fit.
There is a role that the French banks are playing in terms of product innovation globally, and more particularly so in Hong Kong.
Another fit for Hong Kong and France is in luxury goods. The Richemont Group is one of the largest luxury groups in Hong Kong. French brands under them include Cartier, Van Cleef & Arpels, and Chloe.
Each of our brands, be they French brands or Swiss brands, or for that matter UK, have a certain amount of their local, the brand DNA. Whether it's that nationalistic, I'm not sure. I think we're in the luxury business, we're all striving to bring high quality to the consumer.
Something said to be very Hong Kong is its vibrant shopping culture. Hong Kong's retail sales grew by 7.3% in 2006, valued at $28 billion, and another 7.9% in the first quarter of 2007, further indication of a lucrative market.
Hong Kong has always had a very deep appreciation for luxury and refinement that is associated with France and some of the most successful French exports. And now with the opening up of the market in China, Hong Kong offers even more opportunity.
Providing even more opportunity for companies that deal in luxury goods is the increased visitations of mainland travelers. A survey by the Tax-Free World Association shows 13.5 million mainland tourists spent an average of 4,550 Hong Kong dollars per person in Hong Kong last year. French companies are taking advantage.
De la communauté française à Hong Kong.
The latest figures from the Census and Statistics Department show that the number of French companies in Hong Kong increased by almost 9% last year.
The French economic presence in Hong Kong is in nearly every sector of the economy, whether it's from the financial services through to high technology, And in many of the areas where France is, in fact, a leader in its own right, one area where we're seeing a number of French companies starting to show an interest is in the environment.
BNP Paribas ranked 4th worldwide in 2006 in investment in the renewable energy sector, with more than $1 billion used to finance projects.
They also have a strong presence in the construction industry. The Asia World Expo, for example, many people are not aware of is a French company. The nuclear power plant across the border from us at Tesa Arcilla actually is a French-built one.
One of the biggest groups, Bouygues Construction, through its branch Dragage, worked on the extension of the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center in 1995, the KCRC in 2002, and the Asia World Expo in 2003. And there's optimism for the future across the border.
With the CEPA in its 4th year, those policies that offer a lot of opportunities for big companies and small companies, they can use Hong Kong as a platform to go into China.
The Closer Economic Partnership Arrangement, or CEPA, saw a number of trade liberalization measures, such as giving Hong Kong service suppliers preferential access to the mainland's market.
With China's entry into WTO as well, the regulations are becoming slightly easier, although sometimes open to timing and interpretation. Clearly, we will be investing more and more in establishing more stores in China, hiring more people as the market continues to develop.
We are in China at the very beginning of an extremely significant evolution, which is going from an economy that was directed from the center to an economy that is managed, at least partly, by market forces.
This economic shift proved significant for financial intermediaries.
This is true for foreign exchange, which was a fixed regime until a few years ago, is now evolving into a floating currency. People have a need to hedge their foreign currency exposure.
New market needs lead to new products, which in turn creates a need for professionals who know these products.
Is increasingly a concern is the availability of talented people and availability of skills in the workforce. Whichever sector you're in, one of your keys to success is the ability to get and retain the right people. Move around from one company to another fairly easily, but at the same time it's not necessarily easy to replace them because the pool of talent is simply not enough. It's a real problem.
To fill their needs, companies have to employ a short-term solution.
Some have to bring in expatriates. I think some of the finance, some of the banks, the number of expatriates, not limited to French companies, by the way, but the number of expatriates coming in is quite large. And this has a knock-on effect on other areas of doing business in Hong Kong, which is the cost of doing business in Hong Kong. For example, renting apartments for expatriates, and they're all going up.
The real long-term answer, and this is also something that we are doing at the same time, is to hire people here.
We'd all like to see initiatives working with governments and so on to enhance, improve the education levels.
The role of France in Hong Kong has grown in the last decade, economically or in terms of fashion, food and wine. With a new president and increasing focus on establishing presence in China, what can we expect from the partnership between France and Hong Kong?
It's very early. The new administration has just come in. We're very optimistic that they will, at the same time, render France a much more attractive, it's already attractive, but a more attractive place for companies, Hong Kong companies, for example, to go and invest.